Good afternoon. Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590. Thank you for making us part of your day. I am very excited for my next guest. He is a family member, also a very good friend of mine, not only a family member, but someone who I look up to, who's really done a lot in regards to recovery, addiction, battling through a lot of issues that have been dealt with him. He's my good friend, my cousin, Dustin Siebert. Everybody knows him as DA. Dustin, welcome to the booth.
It's good to be here.
Thank you for making us part of your day. I'm very excited. Dustin, a lot of people call you DA. Is that correct?
Yeah.
DA, I'm going to call you DA if that's okay.
That's fine.
Tell me a little bit about Dustin Siebert. Tell me a little bit about DA.
So I'm 45 years old. I currently pastor a recovery ministry in Malden called Messiah's House. I started doing recovery work in 2016. Got sober June 6, 2014. That was after a 20-year drug addiction, 15 of that being methamphetamine, and just been trying to show guys the light that I've received.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590 with Dustin Siebert, DA as he's known, who's, I don't really... Are you the head pastor of Messiah's House? Is that how we would phrase that?
So I have a pastor, but then I also pastor the recovery house. So yeah, I'm an ordained pastor with the United Voice of Zion.
And we talked a lot, and June 6, 2014 was a day in which basically it came full circle. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah. Tell the people a little bit about June 6, 2014 and why DA is where DA is today.
So actually June 14th, or June 6, 2014 was the day that I got sober, but it wasn't the first day that I tried to get sober. I actually started using meth in 1999. I was 19 years old. I was the guy in high school that if there was meth at a party or whatever, I would leave. I was completely against it for so long. And then 1999, I just happened to be at a place, and for whatever reason, I let my guard down that day, and I decided I was going to try it. And it just kind of stuck. Within 6 months, I was helping to manufacture it and running around with 2 or 3 different people that was making it, and from Northeast Arkansas, Southeast Missouri, Malden, Campbell, Piggott, Clay County. So I first got sober in 2003, and I was sober for a few months. I was attending church regularly, and basically because I wouldn't cut certain people out of my life, I ended up getting drugged back in it, and that started with the 11 years of in and out of church, in and out of drug addiction. I got sober again in 2006, I think, and then again in 2010, and relapsed. That last relapse lasted until June 6, 2014. And June 6, 2014 was a day I had what do you want to call it, a psychotic break, bad reactions from coming off all the drugs at one time. So I not only got off of methamphetamine June 6th, I also got off of Xanax, and they say that's really tough as far as getting sober without any kind of detox or medical detox. And so I ended up having a psychotic break. I ended up getting put in jail, Duncan County Jail. I was in there for 4 or 5 days, and from there they sent me to the mental institution there in Poplar Bluff, or the mental ward. And I was there for a week and a half before I finally started to come around where I could have a coherent conversation with people. And so, and then like within 30 days after that, I ended up getting diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And so it was a whole wild summer that summer.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to DA Siebert, the pastor of Messiah's House, talking about his road to recovery. DA, one thing I think that's evident in that story, and a lot of people don't realize is recovery is kind of like a roller coaster. Is that correct?
Yeah,
kind of explain that to the people.
It's never, So I've been working in recovery ministry, faith-based recovery ministry. 2016, I started helping with a good friend of mine, John Johnson in Malden. He was actually met him through Celebrate Recovery. Celebrate Recovery is a real nationwide, probably worldwide church ministry for people getting sober off of drugs and alcohol. It kind of does biblical principles with the 12 steps. And so anyway, I was a co-leader in a ministry of his called Restore. It was a Friday night group at a church. And so 2016, I started my own, started attending the Assembly of God Church in Cullin, Missouri, a little bitty church, wasn't probably 15 guys, maybe 10 different people there. Gerald Berger was the pastor. He allowed me to start a class on Thursday nights there. We called it the Matthew 25 Project. Matthew 25 is where in the Bible Jesus said, you visit the ones that are sick in hospitals and jails, and you fed the ones that were hungry and clothed the ones that was naked. And the disciples said, "When did we do that?" And Jesus said, "When you did the least of these, you did it unto me." And so that was where the name of that ministry came out of. And that was in 2016. Helped with that until the next year, 2017. I started the class there at Q1, and then that morphed into a Matthew 25 house in Holcomb. I got acquainted over there with them guys, Pastor Kenny Burns, and they have Freedom House over there in Holcomb. And they played a integral part in getting that ministry going there in Holcomb.
And again, we're on Welcome to Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to DA Dustin Siebert, pastor of the Messiah's House. And the Messiah's House is actually in Malden, is that correct?
That's right, yeah.
And if you are reaching out or you're struggling and you have issues, DA is an excellent person to reach out to. There's a website, is that correct?
Yeah. Well, a Facebook page, Messiah's House, that's with the apostrophe S house. And then the phone number for that is 573-217-1140. If nobody answers, leave a message, or you can send a text message to it. And then we have email, which is messiahshousecmo@gmail.com.
And, again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Dustin Siebert, as we know him, DA, a lot about addiction and recovery here in Southeast Missouri. And, Dustin, one thing that I've always found is in my other profession is a lot of times individuals who have drug issues, they'll have drug possession charges, things of that nature. They'll be put on probation. And then part of their probation is do not associate with anyone else that is on probation or that you've had any contact with in the past, basically. So what we're telling these people, hey, I know that you've dealt with these people for 20, 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
We're cutting you loose. Yeah. Good luck. Go on your own. So it's kind of an important thing for people to know that there's organizations out there to help you with recovery, correct?
Yep.
And is that kind of what Messiah House does?
Yeah. So we take guys off the streets. We more often get guys that are in coming out of county jails and prison. We even had quite a few guys sentenced to us instead of prison. They're court ordered to us, and so kind of give them an option to where, like our second graduate of the house, it was a pivotal part for him. He didn't have to go far off to a ministry. His mom was battling cancer, and so it was able to give him a place where he could get sober. Where it's not in the same environment that he wasn't at. And he was able to be in his mother's life the last 6 months of her life. So it's a pretty cool thing. We house guys. I think we can hold up to 20 at our new house. The United Voices Zion built a brand new facility right behind the church. We still have the old house is what we call it. It's there on the air base. It's it's the last Air Force barracks house there on the Air Force base in Malden. And I think we can hold 10, 15 guys there pretty easily.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to DA Siebert from Messiah's House, talking a lot about recovery. And, the Voice of Zion there in Malden, they had an outstanding leader who recently passed away. That was Roger Fowler. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your relationship with Pastor Fowler.
It was the male influence that I'd been looking for my entire life. I had a great dad. He's passed away now, but me and my dad never really had any common grounds on stuff. And so whenever I came over to the United Voices Zion, and that's how Pastor Fowler, he talks spiritual sons. And so it was really that. It was really a really an amazing relationship I had. It was with him and his wife, Miss Beverly. Just an extra set of parents, and that's what Messiah House tries to be. We try to be a family to these guys. We're not just a program or a church. We're actually a family. I've got 3 or 4 guys that are now been with us over a year, and I got another guy that's been with us about 2 years. And so Roger, he came along, believed in me, believed in the recovery ministry. He actually had a vision to do a recovery house back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it just never happened. And that was about the same time that I was actually starting in on my drugs. And so, it was tough. We lost Roger, Pastor Roger. We lost him in February of this year, and it's been tough. It's been really tough. He was definitely more than just a pastor. He was actually a father in my life.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to DA Siebert from Messiah's House. And I know, DA, there's a lot of things going on with Messiah's House. I think, in fact, you're actually looking to expand. You have the facility there in Malden that can hold, I think, did you say 30 people probably?
Up to 25, 30 people, yeah.
And what is the outlook in regards to Arkansas? You said there's some stuff going on in Arkansas. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that.
So it's pretty cool. I actually, when my dad was in the hospital in Jonesboro back in 2023, It was in Jonesboro, and I was driving back, and I was going through McDougall, Arkansas, which is between Piggott, Arkansas, and what's the name of that other town over there?
Corning?
Corning, yeah. About halfway between the two. And so I actually had stopped on the road there and took a selfie with the McDougall sign behind me and made a long post about how in 1999, 2000, 2001, methamphetamine was so known out of Clay County, Arkansas. I think there was one year that Clay County had more meth lab busts than California. And so that's how bad it was over there. Well, for me making that Facebook post and talking about, the drugs and the situation, how McDougall was, and what we're doing now with the recovery ministry, an actual guy that I went to high school with, his older brother was the former pastor of this church. Anyway, he seen the Facebook post, messaged me on Facebook. He said, "Hey, this church in McDougall, it's been sitting empty for 2 years." He said, "If you would be willing to make a recovery home out of it, we would be willing to give it to you." And so that happened. So it's still sitting over there empty right now. We haven't started. I've actually got a guy that's in the program right now that in 1999 or 2000, I was actually at the house that he was a baby at, in the baby crib in the back, and to purchase drugs at. And now he, 25 years later, 26 years later, whatever it is, he just home planned to us out of prison. And so that's these recovery ministries. This guy is a prime example of. We are now third generation of methamphetamine in Southeast Missouri, Northeast Arkansas. That means we have grandparents that are using drugs with their grandkids. We've got people's grandpa that was meth cooks back in the late 90s and early 2000s. And so third generation now. And so people, places, and things, if you don't change, you got to change all three of those to have a successful recovery, most cases.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to D.A. Siebert from Messiah's House, apostrophe S. You can look on his Facebook page. And I think one thing that's very poignant is, I believe on that Facebook page, you have your pictures of when you were arrested back in June 6th of 2014, which was the actual time that you officially stopped, and have been clean ever since,
Yep,
correct?
Yep.
And I know from experience, Dustin, a lot of people say, well, if you want to quit something, they can quit it. They just don't want to.
Right.
Kind of explain addiction to those individuals.
So nobody, you don't think you're going to be the guy that ends up being the junkie. You know what I mean? It's just like any addiction. So you, like with cigarettes even, you've got people, I've got a lady that's now in her church, and she's been trying to quit smoking for a long time, and she just can't seem to get it. You know what I mean? And so that's the same way with any addiction, with methamphetamine. And when it grabs a hold of you, it's a strong addiction. It's a powerful drug, and so therefore you're going to have a powerful hold on you. And so we try to we do a class on Thursday nights, a recovery meeting, kind of AA round table kind of type meeting. And so we try to give if you don't need to be living a recovery program, maybe you just need to attend a church on Friday night and come to church on Sunday mornings or Wednesday night. You're able to do that with us. But if you need to have, like if everybody in your family is getting high and you need to take a place to get away from that, Messiah's House is a good place to do it.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to D.A. Siebert, the pastor of Messiah's House, apostrophe S, there in Malden. Has 2 locations. You can get on the Facebook page, and you also indicate there's a phone number, and the phone number again is 573
217-1140.
Leave them a message if they don't answer, or text them. Somebody will get back to you, I promise you. D.A., in regards to the struggle with addiction, the individuals who stay in the facility, do they eventually get to the point where they can work and do things of that nature? Kind of explain how that process works.
So from day one, it doesn't cost you anything to come to Messiah's House. If all you had when I got sober back in June of 2014, everything I owned you could put in a Walmart bag. And basically that's how the guys, when they come to us, some of them don't even have that. Some of them come with, we've had a guy come and didn't even have no shoes that fit him when he got there. And so when you eventually come, we'll help you find a job. We'll help you get back and forth to your probation and parole meetings. We'll help them get you back and forth to visiting your kids or whatever it may be. It doesn't cost you anything until you get a job, or until you get a full-time job. It doesn't cost you anything, I should say, because once you get a full-time employment, I think it's $125 a week is what it costs, and that covers your bills and your living expenses and even your gasoline up to a certain point.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Dustin Siebert from Messiah's House. Talked a lot about the program. Dustin, kind of explain to me a little bit about your medical condition. You know, you said I have not only did I have a psychotic break, I was so strung out. I'm going to use that word.
Yeah.
Strung out on methamphetamine and Xanax. I went to a mental facility, and then I was diagnosed with MS. At what point would some people say, you know what, God is punishing me, and I'm just tired of dealing with this? How do you cope with all that?
So I actually was having quite a few multiple sclerosis symptoms, MS symptoms, the last 6 months of my addiction. But when you're using meth and Xanaxes and alcohol and no telling whatever else that was around at the time, really masked it. And then what symptoms I was having, I was like, well, it's just because I'm using drugs. But once I actually got sober and and came back into mentally back to myself, when I was able to have a cool hurt and put a sentence together, I wasn't able to. I could stand up, and as soon as I started to walk, I'd lean to one side or even fall over. And so ended up doing a spinal tap there in Southeast Missouri, or at Poplar Bluff Regional, and came back and said, well, we think you have multiple sclerosis. And I was like, and that was kind of a shock, you know. It was from there they sent me to Cape to a neurologist, and the type of MS that I have, he was trying to tell me there that the neurologist was trying to say, well, the medicine's probably going to be worse than the MS itself, so you just need to go home and, you know, enjoy your last few years of good living. And so we obviously didn't want to do that, so we ended up getting an appointment with the Barnes Jewish, a specialist over there, and that's just the difference between the old way of neurologist and this new. So there's all kinds of different medication. I was actually in a wheelchair. 2014, I went from a wheelchair to a walker, and then to a cane. And God's been a big pivotal point in all that too. Helped me stay positive with it. You know, I would always, when I was learning how to walk again, there was a verse in Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so it's been a really, not only been my recovery from drugs and alcohol, but also spiritual help in my health journey too.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to D.A. Siebert from Messiah's House. And D.A., I know you're battling this health condition, but you continue to keep going on and doing things all through the week for people who have addiction. What do you say to those individuals who say, well, if this person's in jail, why should we let them out and go to a faith-based rehab facility instead of sending them to prison?
Yeah. Financially is one reason. You can, I don't know exactly the numbers on it now, but what it costs to house one guy in prison for a year, tax dollars wise, it doesn't cost the taxpayers any money at all for them to come to us, and we have a lot higher success rate. I think it's less than 3%. I think with prisons, people staying off methamphetamine. And I don't know exactly what our recovery rate is, but it's a lot higher than 3.
And again, if anyone has any issues out there, they can get on the Facebook page, Messiah's House with apostrophe S, ask to join. They can also call the 573-217 1140 number or text, leave a message or get a hold of someone. DA, tell me some of the things that you think are your most, how do I say this? The moments that you're like, hey, this is actually working. Things are actually going well. We're getting across to people. When did that first actually hit you?
Like within the ministry?
Yes.
So actually, one of the great stories that I like to tell, when we was doing our class in Culen on Thursday nights, Culen, like any other little towns, you know, infested with drugs. And we had started our class at 7 o'clock that night, and it was about 15 minutes into the meeting starting. And I had a guy walk in, and he was obviously under the influence of methamphetamine. I mean, he was skin and bones, raggedy clothes on, and he walked into the church, and he looked around. He said, is this a recovery support group? And we said, yeah. And he goes, just a sense of relief. I didn't pray for this guy. I didn't offer him nothing to drink. I didn't tell him about Jesus or anything like that. All it was is that we was there, and we wanted to help because he didn't know who else to go to. And so that's one of the main reasons with these recovery ministries. So we do a class on Friday nights called Friday Night Free. It's a 12-step kind of inspired with a round table, open discussion. And you'll get a chance to share a little bit of your story or a little bit of your failures, and we try to learn from each other. Why should one guy keep making the same mistakes whenever he can learn from my mistakes? You know, I was in and out of a drug addiction for 11 years before I finally got it. And by I mean I got it is that I was really sick and tired of being sick and tired.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Dustin Siebert, as he's a known DA in the area, for Messiah's House with apostrophe S. Get on the Facebook page, and you can also send him a message there. DA, let me ask you kind of a poignant question. Let's say someone goes to the Messiah's House, released from jail. They go to Messiah's House. They are then leave the program or kicked out of the program. What do you guys do then?
If when they leave or they mess up, so really they have to. We're pretty lenient on guys. You don't just get kicked out for your first time messing up. We don't kick you out for whatever it is. We give people multiple chances, and the reason for that is God gave me multiple chances. There ain't no way I could kick somebody out after one little mess up when God's given me as many chances that I have. And so we have counselors in our group. We have two of the guys that help run the new house for me. They're in Malden, our FCC peer support specialists. Both of them work here in Kennett. And then we've actually got two licensed counselors that's in the church. And that and biblical principles. There's a proverb that says the righteous man falls 7 times, but the wicked stay in ruin. And what's that saying is, keep getting back up. That's the key to anything, whether it's quitting cigarettes or working out, health, whatever it is. A lot of times you're going to mess up or get discouraged and want to quit before. And so I'm a firm believer in keep getting back up. And if you have a sincere heart and you really want to get off the drugs, we're going to be sincerely there and try to help you do so.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, having an honest and thorough discussion about addiction recovery and some of the options that are available for those in Southeast Missouri and hopefully in Northeast Arkansas, coming up with a new program there in McDougal. And Dustin, DA, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to go somewhere and be judged. Yeah. And I think what you're saying is, you have this recovery group that's on Friday nights. Is that correct?
Yep.
Where's that at?
The United Voice of Zion, 2780 North Douglas and Malden.
So it's every Friday night at
United Voice of Zion, and we're right between the Ford dealership and the JR's car across the road from the golf course. It's not hard to find.
And what time does it start?
7 o'clock. We actually 6:15. We have coffee and fellowship, snacks. Last night we had pizza. Miss Beverly Fowler chipped in and bought our pizzas for us every Friday night. It's not every Friday night that we do that, but
right.
We will coffee and fellowship at 6:15, and the meeting starts at 7.
And for all those who's interested to go to Friday night fellowship there at the United Voice of Zion in Malden, Missouri, starts at 6:15, and then it starts at 7 with some service and some devotional and things of that nature. Dustin, let me ask you this. A lot of people are like, hey, I don't want to go somewhere because I don't want to be judged. It's not going to happen there, is it?
No. If you know what I look like, I got tattoos from all over my arms, my neck, and everywhere else. I even got one on my face, and so we are definitely not. You can come into our program, and there'll be a few guys that's been there just know a little bit of time, and we've got guys that's been there for a year or 2 years, even though. So every single one of us knows what it's like to hit rock bottom. Every single one of us knows what it is to come. My case, and this is my 4th time. I've lost everything I own 3 different times. This is my 4th time getting sober. And so absolutely no judge zone, man. We were all sinners saved by grace, and so we were all a mess at one time.
And again, we're on KDX AM 1590 talking about Messiah's House with apostrophe S with DA Dustin Siebert, who's the pastor there. Also talking about the Friday night recovery group that takes place at the United Voice of Zion in Malden on Friday night, 6:15. Come get some coffee, hopefully a pastry.
Yeah, we can do something.
Also then come at 7 o'clock. Don't be afraid to lay your troubles out there. I mean, people are always looking and saying, I have nowhere to go. I have nothing to do. I have no one to, but that's what you're telling me is, there's numerous things and numerous things available other than Messiah's House and the Voice of Zion and so. What else can people look out to do, Dustin, in your opinion?
So in the Southeast Missouri and Northeast Arkansas, the days of needing help and not be able to find any of those are gone because we've got all these. You got Freedom House in Hawcom. You got us in Malden. There's one in Sykeston. There's 2 women recoveries in Poplar Bluff. There's a women's recovery in Dexter. There's the one there in Poplar Bluff, Crossroads Ministry. Jimmy Wagner, LaDonna Wagner over there. They was a really big help with me. They were both of them guys. They started theirs about 3 or 4 years before I started mine, and they've been nothing but a big help on helping me get started.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to D.A. Siebert from Messiah's House, talking about recovery. And one thing I think that everybody will agree is if you reach out to D.A. and he can't help you simply because of some issues where I think he can, he will direct you in the right direction. Is that correct?
And matter of fact, I do that quite often. There'll be times that we're full and out of beds, and somebody will message me. And so I actually got in my phone, in my notes, I've got it all listed, and I can just hit copy, paste, or copy and paste and send it to you. And I forget how many different, between Northeast Arkansas and Southeast Missouri, I've got a friend, a real good friend of mine, Gary Graham. He's up at Wyatt, Missouri, which is just north of Charleston. He's got one. There's one in Sykeston, and then I think there's 2 or 3 up around Cape and Jackson.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590 and talking about addiction and recovery. And, sometimes, DA, the best thing to do is to get away from the area that you're currently in, correct?
Yeah.
A lot of people, what's the old birds of a feather flock together?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to get away for a little bit, get to a different area. So that's kind of also something that's available. If you have an individual who says, I can't stay here because if I stay here, things are going to happen, you can help them find other locations. Is that correct?
Yep. So we just had a guy that was come from Jackson, Tennessee, and the guy that helps me run the new house, Eric Lamar, he's the one of the guys that's the FCC specialist here in peer support here in Kennett. He's actually from up north in the hills, like I don't know, Salem, I think is where he's from, and so. And if you're here in Malden and you think you want to get away, I've got a good friend of mine, Jason Pratt. He's actually from Clarkton. He's part of a big ministry in Springfield, Missouri. I got a guy, Steve Hartman in St. Louis that I can put people in contact with, and then all the way down to Arkansas, Truman, Walnut Ridge, Jonesboro. I've got contacts everywhere. So if you're from those areas and you want to come here, get a hold of us. And if you're from here and you want to go off, you can get a hold of us.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to D.A. Siebert from Messiah's House, also very closely affiliated with the United Voice of Zion there in Malden. A lot about recovery, addiction, and the services that are available. And D.A., you talked a lot about FCC, Family Counseling Center and Behavioral Health, I think is what they like to be called now. Have they been an integral part in assisting you?
Yeah, so like I said, 2 of my guys that have been with us the longest are FCC's peer support specialist. My brother actually works for FCC. He was a retired superintendent. And then I think we have another lady there at the church that's working with the youth. I think FCC has a youth program now for teenagers or kids.
And for those who don't know, DA or Dustin, you used to have a specialty other than the being involved in the pastoral and the rehabilitation stuff. You used to be, and you still are.
Some, yeah.
Probably the best barber I've ever had my entire life. Don't look at me now because I've not done it with him. Yeah, I used to have hair. Oh, he's always got the jokes. That's tell me a little bit about that. How did you get into the barber field?
So in the early 2000s, I was on drugs and I actually got caught with marijuana. Within 6 months, I got caught with marijuana once in Butler County and once in Duncan County. I kind of skirted off the charge in Butler County. The one in Duncan County, I ended up having put on probation for 2 years. And while I was on probation, you either got to have a job or going to school or whatever. And I talked to Richard Whiteside, who's from Campbell. He's got a barbershop in Doniphan now. And he actually taught me into going to barber school. And so I came back to my mom and dad's house, and I ran this deal by my dad. And my dad's been kind of put your money where your mouth is kind of guy. He said, if you think you want to cut hair, he went on the front porch and pulled a chair and got his beard clippers out. And so that was the first haircut I ever done. And then I ended up getting some student loans, and I even got a grant and attended the Missouri School of Barbering in St. Louis, Florissant area. And I was up there for 9 months and came back. And then Kennett is where I got my first job there at the West End Barbershop with the late John Stoker was his name. He's passed away now. So I was there, and then I ended up opening my own shop in 2006. It was the old Carlton's across from the bowling alley. And I think it's a car lot now. I had a barbershop there. And then the entire time that I was cutting hair in Kennett, I was either in church or I was using drugs. And so 2000. Well, when I got diagnosed with MS, the first couple of years I wasn't even able to work at all, and so I still cut hair a little bit for donations. There at the old Messiah's house there on the air base. Cut hair on Friday afternoons, and then a little bit on Saturday morning, like 11 to 1.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Loop with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to D.A. Siebert from Messiah's House, talking a lot about his journey and recovery, about some of the things he did. D.A., kind of explain to us, and I know this is going to be a unique question. I don't know if you've ever been asked this. When the first time you're beginning to use methamphetamine, what was going through your head, and why did you decide to do that?
So I graduated high school in 1998. Meth was a big thing then. Even then, I remember we had classes on it in school, and I knew I had some guys that I went to school with that was using meth, and I was dead set against it. And then I showed up at a house, 1999. I don't remember, his old friend of mine's house, and there was a group of guys in there using meth. And for whatever reason that day, I decided to try it. And I kind of ADHD. A lot of guys of us that are kind of ADHD. Stimulants is a big thing for us because it makes the racing mind calm down. And so it really grabbed a hold of me. Within 6 months, I was helping manufacture it. I was smurfing, what they call it, when I was going around buying the pseudoephedrine and the ether and all the other precursors that you had to have to make it. And it just grabbed a hold of me. I don't know how else to really describe it, but it was something that I just couldn't shake. And it took me numerous times to.
And in regard to that, was it almost like a situation in which the peer pressure was very intense with those guys to say, "Come on, man, don't be like that"? Or what are you, a narc? You some guy? Why are you not joining in? This is great. Come on, feel the high.
It was the kind of a thing is I was around it, and eventually kind of the old hang out. If you hang out at a barbershop long enough, you get a haircut,
right?
And so that's kind of the case with that. Is that I was just curiosity killed the cat.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to D.A. Siebert from Messiah's House. A lot about recovery, a lot about addiction, a lot about his life, how he's managed to stay sober since 2014. If you're interested in knowing more about his story, please get on the Messiah's House Facebook page. And, D.A., one thing we talked about is a lot of people say, well, the best counselor or the best person to talk about an issue is someone who's defeated that issue. Yeah. Is that correct? Yeah. And I hate to say defeated because I'm assuming every day is still a battle. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, so it's not a battle for doing meth, but it's a battle to be the better person than I was yesterday, trying to always improve on herself. Just like anybody, I still have, triggers or whatever, fall time. It used to kind of, that crisp air hits you, kind of reminded me of hanging out at my buddy's house and helping him cook and this and that. And so there's little triggers, certain songs, certain music, whatever it may be. But I found that when I battle it with positivity and spirituality, whether it's Bible verses or audio Bible or listening to praise and worship music or whatever it is, support. I haven't had to do it in a long time, but I've got people that I could reach up. Hey, man, I'm kind of struggling today. Got thoughts about using. And so it's a whole network of sobriety. I've let the Lord build a lifestyle around me that is coherent to the growth of being sober.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to D.A. Siebert from Messiah's House. If you are struggling and need a place to go every Friday night, yep. At the Voice of Zion Church there in Malden, 6:15. The actual service starts at 7. Come, be a part of it. No judgments. It's an absolutely wonderful place to go and just explain. I need to talk to somebody and I want to figure out what's going on. D.A., what do you kind of see or envision as how you're going to continue the process with Messiah's House? What are you kind of looking forward to? Because I know you and I are a lot alike. We have very ADHD. We have to have things to do because otherwise, idle hands is the devil's workshop. Right. So we're constantly thinking about new projects or new things to do. I know you got the thing in McDougal going. Is there some other things you're also looking into?
I would love to. I know they have a jail ministry here in Duncan County. I'd like to see Jimmy McGill. I don't really know the guy personally. He's big on Facebook and TikTok and doing recovery like I am. He's at Little Rock, and they just started a program over there in Little Rock. I don't know if it's county jail or the city jail over there, where they actually bring in the guys that does the recovery housing and stuff like that. They come in one night a month, whatever it is, and they kind of showing the guys what the options are. Hey, you have this house over here in this town, and there's this kind of church, this kind of Christianity, and over here. I think that would be a good thing to have, to where these guys already have a plan in staying in whenever they get out of jail. They have a plan to stay sober.
And again, we're on Welcome to Luke with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590. And, there's the drug courts options are available here in Dunklin and Stoddard County in regards to those who are been found guilty or pled guilty and are placed on probation. And as part of their probation is to enter and complete the drug court program. And they do a good job. But a lot of it is also, once you're out on probation and you're not doing drug court, you have to have a place to live and things of that nature. So that's kind of what we call about a home plan. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And that's something that Messiah House can help those individuals with?
Yeah. So even if you're kind of on the fence whether you want to do housing, if you want to actually live in the program, I encourage the guys to come to church on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock or come on a Wednesday night service at 7, and we'll talk after service. We can walk you around the building, let you meet the guys that are currently in the program, meet some guys that's actually graduated the program and still come back to church. And so kind of a deal where you can kind of stick your toe in the water and see what you want to do,
And again, we're on Welcome to Luke with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to DA Dustin Siebert about Messiah's House, some of the recovery options. He's done an excellent job of battling addiction. And I think you indicated that you relapsed 3 or 4 times. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, and the worst part of my relapses was I didn't let it just be a relapse. I let it be a relapse into full-blown addiction. And so that's what I liken it to. This is letting one relapse turn into a full-blown addiction is like waking up and having a flat tire and then slashing the other 3. And so if you've been sober for a while and you've had a single mess up, do not let the old devil get in your brain and try to tell you, see, I knew you couldn't do it. Let that stuff go. And we all make mistakes. We're all going to mess up. But just don't let a single mess up turn into a full-blown addiction.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590. And, it's almost like when you're a child and you're trying to learn a sport, you're trying to do something, just because I strike out one time doesn't mean I need to throw my bat away and then not ever try again.
Exactly.
That's exactly how addiction and recovery is, correct?
Yep.
And a lot of people say, well, they've had an opportunity, they have one chance, but that's not how it works in addiction, is it?
No, it's you're talking about baseball, and it's like you watching. If you've ever seen a baby learn how to walk, he takes one step and kind of falls over. Like nobody throws their hands in the air and say, "Well, he ain't ever going to walk now." But we do that with people, and it's learning how to live sober is a process. We've got, like I said, we've got 3rd generation now methamphetamine in this area. We've got grandkids getting high with grandpa, and so keep trying, keep getting back up. You're not going to get it right the first time, and I say that I don't know anybody that's ever came off of methamphetamine that got it right the first time. I don't. If they're out there, call me. I would like to talk to you, but I don't think they're out there.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590. If there is that person out there, come out, because we'd like to bottle their secret and get everybody off methamphetamine. And Dustin, DA, we talked a little bit, and you brought it up. A lot of people think, well, an appearance of an individual shows whether or not they are recovering or not. That's not correct either, is it?
No.
I'm a balding, kind of overweight, no tattoos. You have a long, flowing mane, a nice beard, numerous tattoos.
Yeah.
But again, don't judge a book by its cover, correct?
Yeah.
And do you have to explain to a lot of people who come into your facility that, just because you have tattoos or you've had a bad past doesn't mean you're going to be judged by it forever?
That's right. I've had guys that come into the program that have more tattoos than I do. We had one guy, he had a big black rose tattooed on his face. And so whenever he was in the program, I didn't catch near as many glances as he did.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Dustin Siebert from Messiah's House, talking about the Friday Night Recovery program that goes on at the United Voice of Zion in Malden on Friday night, starting at 6:15. Dustin, are there other programs that people need to be aware of that they can also go to?
I think there's an AA in Kennett on Thursday nights, I think. I can get somebody wants to contact me, I can get you more information on that. A good friend of mine in 180 runs 180 Ministries in Bloomfield. It's actually Chris Rauscher. He's the sales manager at Ultramoreland. It's a pretty cool little deal they got going over there. Ultramoreland's son, I can't think of his name right now, but he's the one that owns the Nissan dealership over there. And I think almost everybody that works at the car dealership is somebody in long-term recovery. And I also think it's of all the car lots for Ultramoreland, I think it's his best one.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking a lot about addiction, a lot about recovery. Dustin, since you've been clean since 2014, what's the situation in regards to the methamphetamine in the area? Is it continuing to grow? Is it cutting down? Kind of where we're at on that.
So it's the game of whack-a-mole. You know what that is? You knock one down, another one pops up. So in the early 2000s, they put a big stop on the manufacturing of methamphetamine locally here, making it hard to buy the ingredients and had to be on a name list and registry to buy the pseudoephedrine. And what ended up happening then, and all throughout the aughts, 2005 to 2011 or 12 in that area, pain medication, opiates was real big. And it was because people couldn't get their hands on methamphetamine, so they just went whatever's available. You have to go to the core issue. You're not just fixing the issue, the symptoms, right? You're going to the cause of it, and the cause of it is a lack of, my personal opinion, a lack of a relationship with God. I found out in my own life when my relationship with God isn't close is whenever I'm always back into my drug addiction. And so you asked about the classes. So 180 in Bloomfield, they have a class on Tuesday night at 6. They feed you, and I think the group starts at 7. I'm trying to think if there was one in Dexter or not. I don't think Dexter has anything. If you're in the Poplar Bluff area, you can do something every night of the week. There's sometimes you could do 2 meetings a day in Poplar Bluff. There's so much going on.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to D.A. Siebert from Messiah's House. If you are battling with addiction or just need someone to talk to, reach out to Messiah's House, *S on the Facebook page. You can also call the phone number, leave a message if no one answers, or send a text, and that number again is 573-217-1140. And someone will get back to you. There's a recovery Friday night recovery program every Friday. Voice of Zion, there in Malden, starts at 6:15. Also at 7. Come be a part of that. DA, in regards to the program there, Messiah's House, you indicated that you can house about 25 people. Is that correct?
Yeah.
How many do you have in the program right now?
It changes periodically. I think we've got 12 or 13 in the new house, and then I've got 2 guys that live at me at the old house.
And of those guys, what's the average stay that someone would go to Messiah's House and stay?
So after 6 months, you can graduate. We'll give you a certificate. We have a special little service for the guys, and which you get just a frame certificate. And that's after 6 months you can graduate. I tell the guys, if you need to stay longer, stay longer. I've got one guy I think he's in his early 50s. He's from here in Kennett area, and he was asking about getting moved when he's going to move out. And he's like, "Man, this is the best I've ever done in my entire life. 50-something years old." He said, "I got a relationship with my kids, and my family's back." He said, "There ain't no sense in me leaving," And I say, and it also kind of helps me out too, because once we've got a core group of guys like we do right now, I don't get bothered with every little issue and every little thing, so they kind of help run the place. And so that's a good thing to have.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to D.A. Siebert, Dustin Siebert from Messiah's House. *S, get on the Facebook page, follow them, see what's going on with addiction and recovery. We talked about the McDougall, Arkansas property. Is there a timeline or any kind of information and more about that? What's going on with that, D.A.?
So we're just kind of waiting on funds and maybe waiting to hear from the Lord, as we say, on how that's going to start. And it's like the one here in Malden, I didn't really know how it was going to start either. We just got the building and started in on it. I guess probably sometime next year, springtime, maybe try to start doing some kind of fundraisers over there or something. The church doesn't need much. It's a pretty good, solid building. It's got a newer AC unit, and it's going to have some pipes fixed and then a shower put in. It's already got 4 Sunday school rooms that can be turned into bedrooms without having to do anything. It's already got a full kitchen in it. Only thing that really have to do is to fix some pipes and put a shower in it, and it'll be ready to rock and roll.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to D.A. Siebert from Messiah's House. And D.A., as we're kind of winding down here, we got about 10 minutes left. Tell me how Messiah's House came to fruition. You said we didn't really know what we were going to do. We just got something started. Kind of explain the process.
I started, and I stepped down from the pastor of the Matthew 25 house there in Holcomb. It's still up and running. Pastor Kenny Burns, you can get a hold of him over there for it. So in September of 2019, I come over to Malden under Pastor Fowler and Miss Beverly. And like I said, he had a vision to do a recovery ministry back 20, 25, 30 years ago. And he actually put in a deal with the city to, I think there was still 4 or 5 old barracks houses there in Malden. And whatever reason it didn't happen, we actually had a church that was going to be given to us in Tallapoosa, Missouri, if anybody knows where that's at. Pastor Fowler used to call it the hub of the universe.
Absolutely.
And so it fell through, which ended up being a blessing because that would have been a logistic nightmare because it's 20 miles from anything out there. And so I actually make a Facebook post, and somebody had tagged Denton Kuhlman in it about us needing a building there. And then David Blaylock ended up, who is a city manager over there. He's all over the airport and all the businesses and buildings out there. And said, hey, we got a building over here. We'll let you have it for $100 a month, and which is pretty cheap. We opened up the door, and it first time looking at it, it had 2 ceilings in it, and both of them were falling in. It had a wall rod on one end, and so we just went in. I had a guy come in that was a friend of mine that donated all of his time on the remodeling and the wiring of it, and did a couple little fundraisers, and the United Voices Zion helped out financially a whole lot, and just started doing a room at a time. I think we fixed the ceiling first and tore out all the wiring and everything first, and it was a process doing that. And COVID happened right in the middle of all that. You talk about a headache. It took us 3 months to get our showers in from Home Depot.
Sure.
And so it was just a nightmare. And actually, we opened up in November, took our first guy in November 2020. And the only reason we opened up then was because I already had a guy lined up to come into the program, and he was living in New Madrid in the garage of his drug dealer's house. And so I was like, man, come on. We ended up moving him in. There was still sawdust on the floors. We hadn't ran the 220 wire for our stove and hadn't run it for the dryer yet. And but we went in there, living on mattresses on the floor, and just started building up, what they say, start at the bottom, and kept on moving up.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to D.A. Siebert from Messiah's House, talking about the humble beginnings of Messiah's House, in which they were basically living on a mattress on the floor as they were remodeling the barracks that was graciously provided to them by David Blaylock, the airport manager, and Denton Kuhlman, the mayor there in Malden. And eventually now it's to the point where you have 2 houses that can house 25 people. And, one thing, DA, and we haven't talked about that, and I think this is very important. How in the world does Messiah's House fund its operations?
So once the guys start working, there is a housing fee. It's $125 a week. It comes out to $500 a month, and that covers their fuel and their transportation and their food and all their other bills. We have one very, very awesome lady there in Malden that I don't even know where she attends church at, if anywhere, but she gives us her tithe every month from her, I think it's a farm property that she has. Before that, there was, how the Lord just shows up. I could tell story after story. Sunnyvale Church there they're outside of Malden. I can't remember the name of the highway yet there.
It's M, isn't it?
Is it M that goes out towards Dudley and all that way? Anyway, yes. Little country church out there, Sunnyvale, and they've donated to us nicely 3 or 4 different times. I've had 2 different times. I've had people drive up and knock on the door, and they say, "Hey, the Lord put this on my heart to give to you guys." And I'm not talking a couple $100. I'm talking numerous times. It was $1,000 check and $1,000 here. You got a lot of people that. Addiction's like cancer. It's affected anybody and everybody in some way, shape, or form. If it hasn't affected you personally, somebody that has. And so we have got people that, they have a son that's an addict of addiction, and they just don't know what to do. And so they'll come out and say, hey, you might not be helping my son right now, but you're helping somebody's son. And so donations and the fees for once they get a job. We receive no federal money, no state money. We don't get any kind of opioid, whatever that is, that money that they have from that big lawsuit they had. We don't get any of that. So it's all through donations and the good Lord.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to D.A. Siebert from Messiah's House, located there in Malden, Missouri. If you want to donate to Messiah's House, I'm going to give you the opportunity, D.A. How do we go about doing that? What's the easiest way for me to say, you know what, as you indicated, addiction, it may not affect me directly, but I promise you that it's like Kevin Bacon, about 2 layers away. Yeah. I know someone who's affected by some kind of meth issue, some kind of drug issue, some kind of alcohol issue. How can I donate to help you guys continue the mission that you're doing for today?
We have all the pay platforms. We have PayPal. We have Cash App, Venmo, all of those. You can, if you want to mail it, check, do it the old school way. Messiah's House there in Malden is 1200 Vandenberg Avenue in Malden. Or if you wanted to show up at church and put it in their offering plate or whatever, however you want to do it.
And you say you have all the pay platforms, and you're going to laugh at me. My pay platform is Cash, because I know how to do nothing in regard. Yeah. How do I do PayPal or Venmo or any of that stuff? What would I do in order to give that money to Messiah's House?
You can message the house number. Probably wouldn't be as bad to call. We don't usually have somebody that answers it all the time, but message the house phone, 573-217-1140. We can send you the link. You can email me, Messiah's House, SEMO, that's Messiah with an S, House, and then SEMO, SEMO, @gmail.com. Yeah.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590. And as you see, Dustin is definitely, and DA is what I call him, is not all about asking for donations. I think you've always felt that the good Lord will take care of that. But please, if you have the opportunity to give to this Messiah's House, it's an outstanding cause. They do great work. I've seen the work they do. They really take time with these individuals, and they really care, and they're trying to make Southeast Missouri and Northeast Arkansas a better place for everybody to live, trying to break the cycles. That's what you're trying to do. Is that correct, DA?
Yeah. So one of the probation officers there in Dunklin County, she's really a big fan of ours. We've actually had her brother in our program, and then on top of that, one of the guys that she's had serially had it at numerous times as a client of hers is now sober. He'd been in and out of prison, I think, for 20 years in and out of prison, and he's doing so good now that she was like, she's good enough to send her brother to us, and because if I was that guy too, so I'm not saying nothing bad about this guy. That he was the worst of the worst. He was panhandling here in Kennett and doing other things, and for him to have a year sober, going on 2 years sober. I don't have to talk about how good Messiah's House is or how good it is. We've got living testimonies walking around. I've got one guy from Dexter. He's actually our first graduate, and it's amazing to see what he's doing. I mean, he's Dad of the Year, and he's at the football games and all this other stuff. And so I don't have to talk about Messiah's House about how good it is. You just talk to somebody that's been through the program, that's actually went through it and worked it and put it to good use.
And again, we're on Welcome to the Booth with Aaron Todd on KDX AM 1590. We're kind of winding down here with Dustin Siebert, DA from Messiah's House. Again, Friday night, United Voice of Zion. Every Friday night is a recovery meeting, 6:15 to 7 o'clock, a little worship, devotional, things of that nature. If you're interested in donating to Messiah's House, the money all stays here locally. It all goes to
I receive no salary.
And DA doesn't receive any salary. He does it just out, as part of the ministry. Give to the Messiah's House. It's an outstanding program. It's all utilized for the betterment of Southeast Missouri, and hopefully soon Northeast Arkansas. Yeah. We'll get the McDougal property going up. So if anybody in the McDougal area or Arkansas area, we're trying to get over there for Messiah's House. Get a hold of Dustin.
It's the old Morris General Baptist Church there in McDougal.
And one more time, you can get on Messiah's House, apostrophe S, the Facebook page. And you can also, last time, the phone number you can call is
573-217-1140.
Leave a message or definitely send a text. DA, as we're winding down, is there anything that you want to leave the listeners with about Messiah's House or what's going on that you think is important for them to know?
the word works if you work it. Talking about the word of God, if you apply these principles that are in the New Testament on how to live your life, and you keep trying, if you don't one mishap turn into a big long relapse, you will get sober and stay sober. There's not anybody that can't. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I was Mr. Couldn't Get Right. Matter of fact, my dad said one time during one of my numerous relapses, he says, "Son, you can get right. You just have a hard time staying that way." And so that's the reoccurrence of a methamphetamine alcohol lifelong of addiction. It's a revolving door. But I promise you this: if you devote your life to God, you get in not just the Messiah's house, you find your program and you get in there, and with a sincere mind and heart and soul, I promise you this: your life will be changed. You can look back in a year from the day that you started, and your mind will be blown. Old Testament verse that I love is Jeremiah 33:3. It's God speaking. God said, "Call unto me, and I'll answer you, and I'll show you great, mighty things that you can't even imagine."
And again, on behalf of DA from Messiah's House and my producer, Misty Hankins, and my executive producer, Evan Todd, I'd like to thank you for making us part of your day. I hope everyone had an opportunity to listen to this message. I hope it resonates with someone and makes someone understand there is hope out there. And again, I hope you have an excellent afternoon and a better tomorrow.